guys, RetroKrystal here, and today we're looking into Bioshock the Collection, which recently launched on the Nintendo Switch. But for this video, I will be focusing just into the first Bioshock. As I was nicely gifted this game from 2K, and being a giant Bioshock fan, I was really excited to get stuck into the franchise again. For those that don't know, I actually used to be a little bit of a cosplayer, and previously I have actually cosplayed the little sister from Bioshock many years ago at EGX. And I'm a big fan of all the characters of Bioshock and how they play their part in the storyline, not to mention their slight overlap and lore between each game.
They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things.
So a little bit of background, the first Bioshock came out in 2007, with his second in the series in 2010, and then the third, Infinite, in 2013. I have completed 1 and 2 numerous times on the Xbox, however I actually only finished Infinite last year on stream when the collection came out on the Xbox. So to have the games remastered, and on the Switch for when I'm on the go, I was really excited to get stuck in. The first Bioshock is based in the 1960s, and you play a character named Jack, who, after surviving a plane crash, which, by the way, will make sense in the later Bioshocks, you find an underwater city known as Rapture. As a player, your aim is basically to explore and sort of learn about Rapture in both its past and present through various diaries, dialogue, and flashbacks, which will occur throughout the gameplay. Within the game itself, you learn that you can have abilities which are called Plasmids. These are various power-ups which use Eve, a substance similar to game mana, that can help you fight enemies in Rapture, but also play a big part in the puzzle and strategic surroundings. For example, you will often find yourself using an electrical bolt to disable bots to hack, or to jam open door mechanisms to unlock openings to these secret places. Or you might find yourself in a sort of sticky situation where there might be ice blocking the door, so all you need to do is melt it using Incinerate. One of the coolest things about Bioshock is it'll present each of these abilities through short themed cinematics, adding a little bit of a comedic feel to the fact that, hey, you can shoot lightning bolts or, set people on fire for no apparent reason, thanks to an oddly looking drink. Which, to be honest, sounds like a pretty good night out. Speaking of nights out, you'll come across various items which can affect your health and Eve consumption. These can vary from a chocolate bar, cigarettes, or a good old bottle of wine, and yes, alcohol can even make you drunk in game too. Truthfully, I usually just pick all these up. I like to spam the A button a lot, but you should really be careful as each item does have pros and cons to whether it adds or loses effects of your health, and could be just what you need to survive a fight. Thankfully, Bioshock ties all these features into 2 wheels, which you can use to access both your weapons and plasmids, which is great when you need to quickly change mid-battle to stun an enemy or if you just want to change your weapon ammo. Creating combinations can be vital to finishing enemies quickly. The game itself does have a save system, so it's always ready to pick up and play, which is brilliant for the Nintendo Switch. But even the levels themselves have checkpoints in the forms of Vita Chambers. These enable the players to respawn if killed at various locations within Rapture, so if you die in a fight, you can quickly continue from the closest Vita Chamber and where you left off. But as a player, please make sure to activate them. I have made this mistake many times because there's nothing worse than having to travel halfway across the areas as you forgot to pass your local chamber. However, if you do get lost, the map is quite a good guide as there's various keys to show you the various vending machines, your goal point, your nearest stairs, and if anything, those little parts that you might have missed in the map. Bioshock the Collection has its own little secrets and collectibles. As you make your way around Rapture, there are 2 special things to find around the map: Little Sisters and Director Films, which the game nicely shows you how many are remaining via the pause screen, which is a nice little touch. The Director's Film is a really unique touch as it can give a little insight into the design process and how the game was made. However, I would really advise only watching these after completing the game, as they may contain a lot of spoilers to the storyline. On the other hand, Little Sisters, whilst not being too much of a secret, does play a big part in the gameplay. Throughout the game you will come across various Big Daddies, a character which appears to be quite a big evil machine with his giant hand drill. But deep down, the Big Daddies are just sweet little characters, and they're protecting the little girl that's following them around with a syringe in their hands. Once you defeat a Big Daddy, which is not easy, you've been warned, you have the opportunity to do something unique: harvest or rescue. With each option, they do have specific advantages surrounding Adam, another form of currency used to buy and improve everything surrounding the Plasmids mechanic. Per Personally, I actually chose to rescue the little sister, but if you're hungry for that Adam and can't wait to upgrade your abilities, or maybe you just want to be a little savage, then Harvest is definitely the way to go. Another feature of Bioshock is the hacking system, a little minigame which enables the player to hack various objects, such as it can allow you to reduce the vending machine's prices, hack flying bots so they work alongside you rather than against you, or you can pick locks or safes to reach hidden areas and get that extra cash. Each minigame has its own hackable rating to give the player an idea on how hard or less likely they are to complete it, which is very important because if you mess up, it can either cause damage to the player or worse, it can set off alarm to cause havoc in the area. Personally, as much as I enjoy the minigame and don't want to be ripped off trying to buy a first aid kit, I did feel that the game had a little too much hacking and it did become tedious to the point where, honestly, I couldn't be bothered to hack and I just paid out the dollars. So I wouldn't really hack unless I desperately needed to. You know, when it's been a really hard level and you really want to buy that vodka from the vending machine. Overall, paired with the atmospheric music, creepy surroundings, and interesting backstory, Bioshock still remains to be one of my favourite franchises which always keeps me hooked. Hope you enjoyed this little insight into the first of its 3 games. I definitely advise to give it a look, and don't forget, like and subscribe or leave feedback in the comments below. Till next time.